It is exactly 22 minutes after 9 a.m. and time for us then to look at our current affairs as we usually do right about this time. Starting it off on the roads. The N3 at Van Riemen's Pass is closed to traffic, and the Tugela Toll Plaza is closed due to a blockade by truckers. The N3 toll route said an extensive backlog of traffic is being reported in the area, and as a result, the Tugela Toll Plaza is now closed in a northbound direction towards Gauteng. Law enforcement is on the scene to monitor the situation. Road users are advised to delay travel to the area until further notice. KwaZulu-Natal spokesperson Brigadier J. Naika added that the police are on the scene. Traffic is being diverted to alternate routes. SAPS is on the scene and attempts are underway to remove the trucks. In October, the highway was closed to traffic following a protest by truckers for route updates to the problems or obtaining emergency assistance along the N3 routes. Call the 24-hour, 7 days a week N3 helpline on 0800 63 4357 or follow at N3 route on Twitter, and they should be pretty much giving you the alternatives because Ogwangoku Ushubile Pa. There are so many trucks there. There's such a backlog and it's so backed up and you cannot get past. There's nothing you can do about. The African Transformation Movement has intimated that it would push for a vote of no confidence for President Cyril Ramaphosa through a secret ballot. This followed Thursday's Supreme Court of Appeal ruling, which set aside the Western Cape's High Court's verdict in favor of then National Speaker Thandi Modise's decision against the ATM motion being decided through a secret ballot. Almost 2 years ago, Thandi Modise, who had been replaced by Nosiviwe Mapisa Ngagula, refused to allow the motion to be carried out by means of a secret ballot and instead opted for an open ballot. In a bid to challenge Modise's decision, the ATM launched an urgent application in the Western Cape High Court to have it set aside, but it lost on March 26 last year, and then took the matter up to the Supreme Court of Appeal, where the judgment was overruled. In the court papers, the ATM explained that its motivation for the motion was that the state-owned entities had collapsed under Ramaphosa's watch. It accused him of having misled the parliament in stating that there would be no load shedding, but that this had eventuated, and also referred to other aspects of alleged poor performance of his role. Now, the ATM president, Vuyolwethu Zungula, said on Thursday, the next thing we are going to await is for Speaker to decide whether they are going to appeal or they are going to comply. Zungula said the party would be pushing for the motion in the hope that the ANC would not instruct members of parliament to vote in a particular way. MPs took an oath to uphold the constitution and be loyal to the people of the country and not their own respective parties. We hope the MPs will indeed vote with their conscience and will be loyal to the people of this country who are subjected to increasing levels of corruption and unemployment, he said. So Ziabuya politically as well. A lot going down. South Africa has again registered a massive spike in the number of new daily COVID-19 cases. The National Institute for Communicable Diseases, the NICD, data shows that 11,535 new infections were diagnosed over the last reporting period. 44 deaths were also recorded in the same period. The latest figures represent 22.4% test positivity rate, a 6% jump from the previous day. Gauteng accounts for 72% of the new coronavirus infections, the Western Cape at 6%, and KZN at 5%. Addressing the World Health Organization Africa briefing yesterday, the NICD clinical microbiologist, Professor Anne von Gottenberg, said that the prevalence of COVID-19 was set to increase. She says, we believe that the numbers of cases will increase exponentially in all provinces throughout the country, she said. Now, due to Omicron coronavirus variant, there's now a threefold risk for infection. Experts are now rushing to determine the extent of the variant's immune escape from the natural as well as vaccine-induced immunity. The UN Secretary General Anton Guterres has described widespread travel bans imposed on the southern African countries over threat of the Omicron variant as unacceptable, likening the restrictions to apartheid. Interesting. When we have now, he said, when we have now this virus everywhere, what is unacceptable is to have one part of the world that is the one of the most vulnerable parts of the world economy condemned to a lockout when they were the ones that revealed the existence of the new variant that, by the way, already existed in other parts of the world, including Europe as well as we know. He said this to the briefing on CNN. We have the instruments to have safe travel. Let's use those instruments to avoid this kind of, allow me to say, travel apartheid, which I think is unacceptable. Now, a new variant of COVID-19 was first reported to the World Health Organization from South Africa on November 25th. As per the World Health Organization, the first known confirmed B11529 infection was from a specimen collected on November 9th this year. Dozens of countries have imposed travel restrictions on the Southern African nations since the mutation was discovered. The new Omicron coronavirus variant has been confirmed in 23 countries, and their number is expected to rise. Director General of the World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, had said. Coming back home, broadcast journalist and spokesperson to the Minister Nathi Mthethwa, Masechaba Khumalo, stands in solidarity with Amanda DuPont, claiming Jub Jub also raped her via a tweet. Hey. Amanda DuPont claimed that Jub Jub raped her for 2 years via a video post on Instagram on the 2nd of December. That was yesterday. This followed Jub Jub's interview on Podcast and Chill with Mac G, where he claimed Kelly Khumalo lured him away from Amanda with Umuti. She says, I was raped physically and emotionally abused for 2 years by Jub Jub. The only thing I did wrong was keep quiet, but that ends here. I will not be publicly ridiculed by this criminal. Him and Matt G saw fit to drag my name onto their podcast for clout at all costs of amplifying a gender-based violence case, she said. Tweets were calling for Jub Jub to be sent back to jail, and Amanda, Jub Jub, and Kelly trended on Twitter. After Amanda's video, Masechaba Khumalo claimed that Jub Jub also raped her. She said he was her boyfriend at the time, but she was still a teenager and a virgin, just like Amanda said she was. Khumalo also claimed it happened at Jub Jub's mother's house, Mama Jackie. I believe at Amanda DuPont, Molemo Marohanye, or Jub Jub raped me too. It happened in his mother's house in Naturena. He was my boyfriend. I was a teenager. I was a virgin, she says. Now, Jub Jub's mother, Jackie Maoranye, known as Mama Jackie, trended on Twitter. Tweeps thought Mama Jackie was also a bad person. Articles of her allegedly kidnapping kids and scamming Oprah resurfaced. Others thought Mama Jackie was protecting Jub Jub. Behind most spoiled and irresponsible men is their mother protecting them. So much damage in a society is a result of mothers like Mama Jackie and sons like Jub Jub. Behind every Jub Jub, there are enablers like Mama Jackie who protect and finance their heinous crimes. Everyone in their circle knew exactly what they were doing and kept quiet. Yo. And finally, further afield in this beautiful continent of Africa, Ugandan troops have stepped up their deployment in the DR Congo on Wednesday. Witnesses said that on the second day of the operation against the notorious ADF rebel group, launched in cooperation with Kinshasa. They are arriving aboard armored cars with escorts from members of the local security forces. Kitambala, a freelance journalist based in the north of Kivu province, said that Nobili on the border. Ugandan soldiers were seen crossing there into the DRC on Tuesday after their armed forces launched air and artillery strikes from the Ugandan territory. The target is Allied Democratic Forces, ADF, a group blamed for massacres in the eastern DRC and attacks on the Ugandan capital, which the Islamic State claims as an affiliate. On that note, that's where we leave it. And those are your current affairs right now. The time, 29 minutes before 10.